In this video, we are going to see four different ways in which we can transpose the data in Microsoft Excel. Transposing the data means moving the rows into the columns and moving the columns into the rows. So we are shifting our entire table from rows to columns and columns to rows. Let's get started with four different ways of transposing the data in Excel. The first method that we are going to use is with the paste special. For that, let's first copy the data, Control C. Let's put the cursor where we want to transpose. Right click, paste special, paste special. This dialog box gets opened. There is another way to get this dialog box is in the home tab, paste, paste special. The third way to activate this dialog box is with a shortcut. Alt H V S. And here, if you only want to transpose and paste the values without any formats, then you can select here values. If you want only formats, you can take only formats. We want both, so we'll select all and click on transpose. Okay. So here we have got our output. The another way is using the inbuilt function for Excel, which is transpose function. So in 2016 version, 2013 version, and 2010 version, this function is available. 2007 version, this function is not available. Now, how we have to use this? We have here seven rows which will get transposed into seven columns, and we have three columns which will get transposed into three rows. So let's select three rows and seven columns: one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Then keeping the selection on, right itself will start typing. As you can see that the first cell in the entire matrix which is activated at this point of time equal to transpose. Let's select the entire array, which means our table, close the function, and please remember, we are not going to press enter, we are going to press Control Shift Enter. With the Control Shift Enter, you can see these cursory brackets in the formula, which means that there's an array formula. You cannot change anything between the entire matrix or the formula. You can't change any part of an array. If you have to change anything into it, you'll have to select the entire cell and then change the formula and then again press the Control Shift Enter. This is not pasting the formats, this is only pasting the numbers. But one benefit with this function is that anything that you change in your data, let's say instead of Germany, if I make it India, this gets changed. Now, in the new Microsoft 365 and Office 2021 version, even this array function that we have just used is made even simpler. So you don't need to select the entire range, you don't need to count how many rows or how many columns are there. You can just select one cell and start typing transpose and then select the entire range, close the bracket and just press enter. You can see this blue border, which means that this is a spill function. Okay, this is an array function. Anything that you need to change, this will be only in the first cell of this entire matrix. You can see that anywhere that you are clicking, it is grayed out. So for Microsoft 365 and Office 2021, this is made even much simpler. The third way is little tricky. When I say tricky, which means that it is more like a manipulation of the data that you are having. Because what we are going to do here is that first we are going to link the data as it is. So practically we are just getting the same data from the top table over here. Okay, and now the thing is that we are just going to do a little bit of manipulation with it, because if I'm going to do paste special or if I'm going to just do no dragging of it, it's not going to give me a transposed data. So first of all, what we have done, we have just pressed the equal to sign and linked with the entire data set from the top. And now what we are going to do is that we are going to replace this equal to sign with something else. So control F, which is opening this dialog box for find and replace. You can find it from home and then find and replace also. Now here, what are we going to find? So we are going to find equal to sign. What do you want to replace with it? Now you can have any special character that you are comfortable with. You can use star, you can use end sign, you can use pound sign. Okay, I am right now using end sign, ampersand. So what it will do, it will replace in this particular range all the data which were with the equal to sign. So instead of the linked cells, now this is becoming a end sign and the cell references. And then okay, and let's close this. Now what we are going to do is that we are going to find and replace, we are going to paste special this particular data the same way as we have done in the first method. So right click, paste special, paste special, all transpose. And after that, we'll replace it again with the equal to sign. So control F. And what we are going to do is that where we have this ampersand sign, this we are going to replace with equal to sign. So practically, we will get our data transposed over here. So this is a little longer cut, but then in case if you don't want to use the transpose function, if you find it little complicated to understand, then this becomes a easy way of doing it. And the fourth method is the Power Query. Now Power Query is available in the Excel sheets, Microsoft Excel 2016 onwards. Okay, 2013 version also has it, but for that you have to download and add in from the Microsoft website and you have to install that add-in. But as an inbuilt functionality, this is available from Microsoft 2016 onwards. So for that, first of all, what we will do, we'll select this data, we'll go to Data tab and we'll click on Get Data. Now, from where do you want to get the data? So you can get the data from actually the range. Okay, so you actually want this. So you're not finding it from file, you're not finding it from data so base. You will have to go to other sources and from table or range. So from table or range, because this is a table or a range. Otherwise, the another way is that there is this small icon over here. Okay, from that also you can get this data. It would be a good idea to convert this data into a table earlier, but in case even if you have not converted into a table, that's fine. So let's get data from table or range, and then automatically before exporting this particular data into the Power Query, Excel will any which way going to create a table. So is my table has the headers? I'm right now selecting it as no headers because I don't want the first rows to be directly promoted to headers. Why? I'll just show it to you in a minute. So A4 to C10, this is the data, right? Though in my table there is headers, I'm selecting my table doesn't have the headers. Okay. Now, the moment you click OK, there is a Power Query window which gets opened. Please remember, if we had selected over there that my table has the headers, this country, number of units sold, and total gross sales would have come into the headers, which means that it would have this use first row as headers. This functionality already must have taken up. Point is that if you are transposing with this, then you are not getting a correct transpose. So let me just undo this step of promoting the headers and let's get the data as it is. Suppose in case if you have already got this data promoted as a header like this, like use first row as headers, and you forgot to click on that uh, table that this is not the headers, then in that case what you can do is that you can go to transform, use first row as headers. Here there is a small drop down, you can click on this and use headers as first row. Do this so that it will be easy to transpose. Now, once this is done, in the transpose, just click, in the transform, just click transpose. And now this has transposed the entire data. After that, you take this first row as headers. So you convert this first rows to headers as by clicking on this square and then use first row as headers, or else you can take it from transform, use first row as headers also. Now, once this data is available, let's load this. So click on home, close and load, close and load to. We want to close and load this to existing workbook. So you can load this into a different table, into a different pivot table report, in the pivot chart, or you can just keep it as a query connection. We are going to load this on existing worksheet. So let's load this here. And okay, so now you have got this data as transposed data. So a quick summary, we have seen four different ways in which we are transposing the data. The first method we used as pay special transpose. The second method that we have used the transpose function inside the Excel, one with selecting the range, typing the transpose function and pressing Control Shift Enter. Otherwise, a transpose function with a spill values. Find and replace, where we first replaced with and sign and then we replaced with equal to sign. And then the fourth method is Power Query. I hope this video is useful to you. Thank you so much.